Christopher Saunders tribute speech, 8 March 2014. Does anybody here have that one person that in their lives they can always look up to? You know, that one person who's always has the best advice and the one who would help you with just about anything. Well, that person is my grandmother, Patsy Brimer, or as my family and I like to call her, Ma'am. I know it may seem like a generic name, but Ma'am is much more than just the actual word, what the actual word means. To us, she is just plain and simple Ma'am. I want to tell you a few things about Ma'am that makes her so unique and important to me. Ma'am is one of the smartest people I know. She has always had the best advice for any and every situation in life. Whether it was your birthday, anniversary, or any important date, she knew it and she made sure that she sent a gift of some sort. Like just last month we had our anniversary and she sent us a card in the mail on the exact day. It showed up like on the dot. And I had no idea she even knew when our anniversary was. So, if you were to Google the word hard worker, you'd probably find a picture of Ma'am about 1 million times. Because her work ethic was like none I've ever seen before. If there was something to be done, she didn't rest until it was done. I'm not talking about only cleaning the house. I'd pull up from school one day, I'd come to her house after school and she'd be out back dragging trees to the burn pile. My uncle's name is Daniel, and that's her youngest son, and Daniel has Down syndrome. And if you ever talk to somebody who has a kid with Down syndrome or anybody in their family, you would realize how hard it is to care for somebody with Down syndrome. And then she makes sure she lets everybody know how special Daniel is to her. She has taught Daniel a lot of life lessons that a lot of kids don't get the privileges to today, and since he has learned those, he's a lot better person, and he's really great to be around, and that's all credited towards her. So now you get a picture of how hard of a worker she is. However, there's one thing you need to know. She did all these things while going through chemotherapy. In 2002, Ma'am and the rest of our family received some shocking news. The doctors told her that they had found a lump in her breast and diagnosed her right then with breast cancer. She went through about a year of chemotherapy and radiation treatment. She looked after my great aunt and uncle in the last few days or a few months of their lives while going through chemo treatment, and not one time did she think about herself. So the entire family prayed a lot about it throughout that year. And exactly 1 year after her diagnosis, the doctors took another look, and what they couldn't find was that lump. The only thing they could find was a calcium deposit. And she was declared cancer-free, but she stayed on the medication for 5 years because that's protocol. So, my grandmother is the strongest, most caring, most considerate, and loving person. Not for 1 second did she think about herself, even through her fight and victory over breast cancer. She is a superhero all on her own, and Superman's got nothing on her. Whether it was her wise mind, her incredible work ethic, or her strength through the hardest of times, Ma'am will always be Ma'am. And of course, none of these things surprise me at all. I mean, after all, she is a country girl, and she is from Texas.